apologize. I have a little bit of a bluesman voice.
That's all right. I seem to have the same today.
Cold all week, and it's still kind of like around here.
Yeah.
Marc is logging in. Hey, Marc, we can't hear you. We're gonna do a whole meeting with sign languages. How's it going, Miles? You okay?
Yeah, not bad. Keeping busy. Got a shoot down in Portsmouth tomorrow. So you kind of getting my head around, actually going and doing a shoot again, which is
Nice.
going to be very different from what I'm used to. I'm used to just like sitting down and just into software, and it's just been that for the whole lockdown year. So it's it's a bit weird thinking like, okay, I got to get my camera equipment together, I got to get my lenses, got to think about like where we're going to park, where we're going to film, where we're going to set up the drums, guitars, and all that. So it's very weird.
I think it's gonna be the same for us when we're gonna go back on tour. It's gonna be like, oh, what do I need to take? What do I need to take and stuff? Gonna arrive with like no sticks or like the kick pedal missing or stuff like that.
Just meeting with people is weird. Like I was, I've not been in the office for like, I don't know, a year and a half or something. And then the other day because the office was empty, we did a lot of refurbishment at the place. And then it was all done. So we had a little party just to, show a few people around. And I ended up there, and everyone was like, kind of looking at each other, and we just didn't know exactly how to behave. Being close to people is just something you've kind of forgotten how to do. Really, that was weird.
Yeah,
it was good to actually meet people, but there was just a little bit of awkwardness of how close should I be, or should I be a bit careful, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like getting those social skills back is going to be interesting.
Exactly.
We'll have to see how that goes.
Cool. So, Marc, with Miles, we've been messaging a little bit regarding the videos. One thing we talked about was just as like some sort of like a direction, not like doing the same thing. We talked about the Coldplay video. Have you watched it? I sent it in the chat. Do you remember?
Oh, the latest one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool actually. I really like it.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I sent it to Miles, and I went, Miles, can you do the same, please?
I mean, I'll do my best.
Miles went, okay. I went it as a joke, and Miles went, okay, so what part do you want to do then? Like, okay, it's actually possible.
Yeah, I mean,
I would expect no less.
Yeah. So we're working with like motion capture. So Marc, I don't know how much you know about this, but at the university I teach at, we've got some XN suits and this new like motion capture setup basically that's all running live into Unreal Engine that I've been working on.
Cool.
So because I've been doing a lot of that, and like with the timing of this project, it kind of makes sense to collaborate with them and be able to bring in the cool tech on it and do some fun motion capture kind of stuff. We're almost at like the tail end of COVID and how everyone's, I guess, trying to find creative ways to make videos in lockdown when big productions can't happen. Productions have still gone ahead. Like it's been interesting seeing like which bands have gone down the route of doing like creative lockdown style videos, and other bands that have just gone, no, we're just going to shoot a video and just get like 5 people to make sure that everyone's wearing masks properly and social distancing.
Tests for everyone and all that jazz. And then,
So but with this idea, I think because obviously some of the band are not able to make it, it kind of makes sense for us to do something a bit more creative with how we actually show it. And I think we also have a vocalist who's not going to be appearing in the video. So
I guess that's the challenge with Zio. Like even outside of COVID, like on a good day, having the 6 of us or the 5 or whichever number we are at any point in time is in the same room is always been a bit of a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because as you know, we never have the same singers. I mean, some singers come back and stuff. Obviously, Haley is always kind of a part of the project. But like there's always like different guests and stuff. And this singer, so that would be for Space Heater anyway. That would be Eric Gillette. So I don't know if you know him, Miles. He's from the Neil Morse band.
Okay.
He's a guitar player and co-singer, I would say.
Okay.
So he's pretty cool actually. He just said that he wouldn't do like video appearance for guests, albums and stuff, which I was fine. But I was like, okay, so straight away in my head, we're gonna have to find a way of like turning these two like what you said, actually, like some sort of robot or anything basically where we don't see the face. But then I was like, anyway, we're going with something like all kind of like animation, isn't it? So it can be anything. And then on top of that, to add to the challenge, so it's basically only Marc and me on the day. So we're going to be the models for every instrument. So for now, what we decided is that Marc is going to do obviously guitar and keyboards, and I will do.
Trying my best impression,
but Olivier anyway is always like
he doesn't move anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And so I would do drums and bass, and then for vocals, I don't know what you said. Maybe you'd probably need someone as well to do that, Miles, to move around or something.
Well, I think that given that we have the opportunity to just make, set up as a different character, we can create like different variations on the same sort of like base model to create like a band together. Like I was looking at the scene like towards the end of the Coldplay video, where like all the dancers almost like they rise up into the air and they've all got these kind of like fan things like around their heads, and it's like I'm pretty sure they did a switch to digital characters there to do that. So I'm thinking like if we just have like a digital character set up like that, a little bit of variation on each one to personalize them a little bit. For them there'll be the singer can have like a microphone in the hand, we'll have to do like the instruments on the others and all that. And so there is going to be a bit of manual like animation work, like getting like the guitars and all that. So I think it's just guitars that we would need like specific animation stuff for, but the other characters like the drums, we can just pose the hands straight away and like holding drumsticks, and then we'll just position the kit in 3D, and then with you in the suit we can just have you acting out positions. And if I need to move around where the drums are so it actually hits in the right place, either I can just like add an offset to the rig to basically move the arm along, or I can just move the drum kit or whatever we want to do with it.
You don't need the drum on the day, then it's going to be like air drum. Or do you need an actual...
we can do either or. It's like I would imagine like actually having the drum kit would be quite nice, because then it would actually give you some like resistance against what you're actually playing, and then we can I would probably be a little bit nice like that. I kind of want to set up the cymbals as like dynamic objects in Unreal, so that when you actually like hit the cymbal, it will just like actually like react. But I'm going to play around with that one because the idea for me is that I want it to be all kind of like running live, and then we've also got like a virtual camera setup as well. So my thinking is that I'm going to be there with like a little like camera rig and monitor, and then that will be getting a feed straight from Unreal Engine where it'll be rendering the entire environment. So then it should just be as simple as just like filming the takes right then and there. Of course, it never is that simple, but like but if we can record like camera data and record like like positioning of the suit and all that, then we can just go in and do like clean up on the data afterwards. So but it's so ideally on the day you guys should actually see a pretty good representation of what the final product would look like, because you'd be able to actually go and like see how it's working in Game Engine.
So will you be adding stuff all around it, or how is it gonna, like, if you create some sort of like a background or something like that?
Well, I'm imagining like a 3D environment similar to the Coldplay video in a way.
Well, you're gonna create like buildings and
that's the bit I was curious about actually, because I was wondering in terms of the mocap gives you the animation data, but then you need like meshes and objects and all sorts of stuff. So I was wondering what if you have any plans for what kind of stuff you're planning to use, or is it the students kind of building some of that stuff? And I'm just curious about how you're going to use the data to actually kind of put it together and have everything in 3D.
Yeah, so the plan would be to like create like a smaller, if we were going down the Coldplay route, and I'm not totally locked to the Coldplay idea and that kind of like cyberpunk type city, but like if we did want to go down that route, that there are either assets already out there that I can use, or there's I can just model them up myself. So obviously I'd rather not go down the modeling all up myself, because building the entire like cyberpunk city is a lot of work, but like to get it looking good. But like I'm just playing around with a few assets from a place called Kitbash 3D, which has like just some basic like models.
Yeah, we use that one at work every time.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at Megascans?
Yes.
One. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those ones are amazing. We're planning to use them for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I guess
I mean, I've been playing one Unreal Engine 5, so.
Oh, sorry. I just don't know what it is like. So it's like set already done, and you can just like put your bit into a.
I think it's more like objects. So you're given a lot of Miles is going to show you, but it's libraries of objects. The Megascan ones are actually like real world objects that have been scanned in 3D. So they look super realistic, and you've got like collection, various kind of locations. So they went to the desert and scanned lots of rocks and sand and whatnot, and then they did like destroyed kind of factory or whatever. So there's lots of different types of settings, and they give you lots of little building blocks, and then you create the environment you want out of putting those things together.
Oh,
it's not pre-made, but you've got also, it's like Legos really. You're given a ton of objects, and then you put them together the way you want.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you basically get like you can just go through and get all of these 3D objects.
Oh, nice.
Is it Kitbash? That's Kitbash, this one, isn't it?
So this is all the Quixel stuff. So you've got so all the big like canyon stuff that they use in the demo. But I sort of want to avoid the
the problem with those is they're gonna look really tired as well. Like everyone's using the desert one. You see it absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, it's this one that everyone's using. That's the one that they've released like the Unreal Engine 5 demo with. So I'll be like saying, right, let's go the opposite of that. So I mean, and this is the same thing with the Kitbash assets. I just see them so often in places now, and they're great assets to use for like background detail, but you would need to like modify them and like quite a bit, and at least like retexture them completely.
That's exactly what we're doing on for our games. I mean, also because some of the games we're working on are more like like different planet or like sci-fi kind of stuff. Like you can't really, if you use it as they come, they look a bit too realistic. Like you want to put spin on it to make it look more alien like or whatever.
Yeah,
they're like really actually great as a starting point. They're awesome.
I was gonna say on that note, like, because as I said, Miles, so everything is about what we have in our heads. So it's all like brain stimulations and stuff like that. So obviously, I think it'd be cool if anything we would do is kind of like, I don't know how we can make everything kind of like so vague, because like it's a bit like a dream. Oh, a kitten.
Sorry. Just walked on the computer, sorry.
It's a bit like dreams and stuff like that. It's never really clear what you see, isn't it? And what you have in your head is kind of a bit the same, isn't it? So like anything that we see, like band members and or the like backgrounds and stuff, I don't know if that would probably make it easier for you to mount, all together. But if it's kind of like, I don't know how I can explain that, a bit dreamy or something, or like, but not like mega clear vision of everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I mean, it'd be quite cool. I like the idea of like it being like dreams and how it's like a blurry, representation of what you're seeing. So because then, I mean, we could just go crazy with all the assets and just throw a load of crazy stuff together and just make this really bizarre looking space.
But the idea, like, if we can, like, even like, because what I had in my head, as a simple like way of putting it is like, what I had in my head is like you could kind of like see waves, obviously, because the concept of the album, and so there's like the band, and then because as I said, it'd be cool if we can do also with Joanna the motion capture, so we get her to dance and stuff. So she'd be the Truewave going around the band and stuff. But this at the beginning, obviously, is almost nothing. It's just like a little bit of a wave passing by. And as we go along, the whole thing will kind of like build up. And I quite like to see, like, to me, the only thing where I'll be quite precise. Everything else, I mean, I trust you for doing, all the crazy stuff. But just the ending, I was thinking, I think I told you already, that we can see her like kind of like almost walking toward the camera, and then she's like becoming real. So you recognize her from the previous video.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, like, moves out of, and then you see the head basically, and then you realize that was the mind of someone basically.
Okay.
So that's the kind of like concept I'd like to put forward.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But then everything else, as I said, because it's everything we have in our minds and stuff, and as we are like musician, creative, and you know, it can be, we love sci-fi, we love, like, you can go basically anything, you know. Like.
So we don't have like the finger tracking on the hands. So we'd be looking at either going in and putting in that animation data afterwards, which I wouldn't want to be going through and doing, like, you know, full guitar and like stuff like that, because that'd be a nightmare. So what I was imagining for the keyboards and the guitars, it would just be like posing the hands in like a certain like shape or something like that. And then for the keyboards as well, just getting it in like a kind of, you know, having the hands just like that, so that when we actually then see that character on the keyboards, it doesn't need to be anywhere near accurate, and it just needs to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think like we lean into that, you know, and have like crazy effects happening where it's like, if someone's looking at the video and going, he's not playing the right notes, come on, like. Like, that's not what this video is about.
It is pop music, so you never know. But anyway, it's funny. I was reading my work emails this morning, and I got an email from one of our games. We are getting those Xsense gloves actually, but I'm not sure we'll get them in time. Otherwise, I could have bought them, but it's going to take a month for them to turn up. So I've never used actually the Xsense ones. Are they? Is it like optical? Is it cameras, or is it just a suit? So you can
all in the suit. It is absolutely crazy.
Because I was wondering, especially with the drums, like any optical system, you'd have so much occlusion that you'd need like a I don't know 100 cameras to get it right. That's brilliant. That's cool.
So we do have like the HTC Vive tracker that that we can we haven't actually put it on the suit yet, so I need to test that. But I think you can like put that on like the back of the suit or something like that, or like the belt, and then you actually get like positional tracking with that. So I'm hoping that we can get that running on the suits and the virtual camera, so that if I'm walking around with the camera, if I actually point it at you, then that's also tracking the position, so I can actually do it. Because when we've tested it before, we've had to kind of like move the like the character mesh like into the right place, and then like kind of awkwardly line it up, because we don't have tracking on both.
So you said we can watch like kind of almost in real time what we're gonna do, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's actually good, because I remember when I did, because I only did motion capture once, you know, for Guitar Hero, and when I was watching the model of me playing, it was so strange, like, because it really looks like almost like a chicken. I don't know, like I must be doing this kind of like things with my elbows. And I was like, shit, if I knew this, I probably wouldn't have played that, you know what I mean? So I think, especially for when we're gonna like mime other instruments that we're not used to, I think it'd be good if we can see how it looks like, and maybe like play in a certain way that it looks good, or if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I need to jump out. I've just realized I'm late for a meeting at work.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you guys carry on. But yeah, that was. I'm really looking forward to it. That seems like good fun.
That's gonna be lots of fun.
It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah. Cool.
Right,
all right.
Great talking to you, Marc.
Bye.
Well, I guess we pretty much done, isn't it, Miles? So unless you had other questions, this is all good to go. I'll see if I can organize a meeting with Joanna just before the shoot, and then otherwise we'll just message, isn't it?
Yeah. Just one, I guess, last thing on the characters. There's a part of Unreal Engine where you like it does like all the effects and sparks and lightning bolts and stuff like that. So you know, in the Coldplay video where we have like all like the orange lightning and stuff. I'm wondering if we can just get like, instead of it being like an actual physical character, I know we're talking about like the waves and all that, maybe like the actual characters we've made out of these waves themselves. And so instead of like robots or something like that, they're kind of like more like energy creatures maybe.
Oh yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm seeing, to be honest.
Yeah. So I'll try that, and I'll have a look into that and see what we can do, because it'd be really cool if that can like, we can do loads of really cool effects running live like that, rather than just being like a standard character.
Yeah, I think, and then for you it's probably easier to make as well. I mean, I don't know how it works, but you just like, especially at the beginning of the video, I think I almost want people to be like, what is this about? You know, like I don't want people to understand straight away from the beginning. And as you go along, so yeah, like a lot of effects and stuff on the characters, and then slowly you kind of see like, oh, this is someone playing drums or playing guitar or something.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it should just be like a 0 to 100%, and we can just like start off at 0%, and then by the end it's like 100%, and then like across the duration of the video, the effects get more and more intense, and then you can start to like see like maybe like a few sparks at the beginning, and then you start to see, okay, no, that's an arm, no, that's a that's a body, okay, that's a character.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good to me. That's exactly.
Yeah, I'll play around with that and see. Like, I need to like learn how to do that, so I'll go ahead and do that.
All right. I'm sure the hands are. I'm sure it'd be fine, isn't it? Like, it doesn't have to be clear, like fingers, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Something that is, some. I don't know, like if it's videos or films or even like that. I don't know. Like, I think I have some sci-fi thing in my head, but I need to like kind of like do some research. But like sometimes you don't really see the like all the details, isn't it? Like, it's all like some sort of like waves and lasers going around and stuff. So even if you don't really see the hands, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. I guess also ahead of the shoot, if you can send me photos of first of your drum kit or like a drum kit you'd like, and then of course like Marc's guitar, the bass guitar, and anything else as well that you'd like me to like get digitally into the scene, that'd be cool. And and if you've got any ideas for like what kind of environments we can look at, so if you see any like cool images, just send them through, and I'll try and like replicate it as much as I can. Yeah,
it's really exciting, man.
It is,
really fun. Cool, man.
Thanks. Good chatting as always.
Yeah.
See ya.
Nice. Bye.